What up, YouTube? Doomnyc here with everyone's favorite time of year. It's banlist prediction time. Uh, here I actually got a big stack of cards that I'm gonna be talking about. I actually think a lot of stuff's gonna change in the ban list only because exceeds are coming out, so the format and actually the game itself is changing. So a lot of things are gonna be changing. First thing, so let's start off with the stuff that I think is gonna get banned. The combo that's in every deck right now, Monster Born and Dark Hole. I've been talking about this for the past couple ban lists. These cards are really overpowering, and I mean, probably the two best top decks you can have in the game. I think they want to start things off pretty even as far as exceeds go. So I see these two cards getting banned. I know I don't really want to see them go either, but I just think that they're gonna get banned. So I mean, a lot of you, I'm sure, agree with that. Next, we got Future Fusion. This card's gotta go. Too many OTKs. You got that new Hero Fusion card coming out that's gonna be just broken. So, Future Fusion, you're just saving everybody a lot of tears and a lot of crying over, how sacky that was with Future Fusion. So, this card's gonna get banned probably. Next, Giant Trunade. I think mass removal for back row, we're at an end for that. So I think Giant Trunade's gone. Sorry guys. A lot of you guys want Heavy Storm back, but that's not happening. Trunade's going, so we got Heavy Storm, Cold Wave, and Trunade all gone. So that's what I think. Mind Control. A lot of people might disagree with this, but I gotta say that I really think this is gonna go. I think this is gonna be too good. See, before, Mind Control was really good with synchros, but you most likely had to have a tuner in your hand. Now, it's just basically just have a monster in your hand and you can exceed. So that's gonna be too broken, and they're gonna have to get rid of Mind Control. So this card, I see this going away. Then we got Mind Master. Sorry guys, but Konami's actually going to force you guys to actually learn how to play with Psychics without this guy. And plus there's a Mind Master FTK with Exodia, so, Konami doesn't like FTKs, so this card's definitely got to go. This card has been really good for a really long time, and it'll be sad, but yeah, that card's going to get banned. So that's the end of the cards that are going to get banned. Now we're going to go to the stuff that's going to 1. First off, Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. I mean, this is pretty obvious. The card's overpowered, and in the OCG, it's already at 1, so they're just going to follow suit and put this to 1. I mean, everybody knows that. Nobody plays it at 3 anyway, but still, you know that's going to 1. TG Hyper Librarian. Well, what can I say? This card's one of the most broken cards that have come out in a very long time. So yeah, besides the $60 price tag on this card is pretty ridiculous. I think if it goes down to, well, it will go down to 1. A lot of people want it banned, but they're not going to ban it because it's a Shonen Jump promo card and they don't want to hurt sales. So it's going to go down to 1, and you still be able to use it, still be able to get off effects, but it just won't be as broken as before. Next, we got Formula Synchron. Again, another card that goes hand in hand with Hyper Librarian for drawing cards and for just doing all kind of crazy stuff. So, Formula, one of my favorite cards in the game, but again, this gotta go to 1 because it's too good. Tiger King. This guy, he was at 2 for the longest, then he got unlimited, and then all it took was him getting unlimited for like 1 ban list to actually get this guy to go back to 1. This guy is way too good in that fish OTK. He's too good in too many OTK decks, so sorry, but he's gotta go. A surprise pick for me, Dark Strike Fighter. I know a lot of you guys already turned the video off, but Dark Strike Fighter, to me, he's just a really good generic level 7 synchro. I mean, I know we're steering away from synchros, which is even more of a reason why he should come back to 1. Plus the fact that people, this card got banned when there wasn't Solemn Warning. Now they have Solemn Warning, so even if he hit the field, people will still be able to negate his summon. It's just a lot of things. I think it should come back to 1. It would be, beneficial to the game. Blackluster Soldier. I think this is pretty obvious. I think Konami wouldn't just reprint a card that was banned if they weren't planning on bringing it back. So look for Lightsworn and Chaos and Twilight variants to be played again. But of course, now they're going to include Exceeds, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So I look forward to playing with Blackluster Soldier. Lone Fire Blossom. Sorry, but the plant engine is way too splashable in too many different decks. I mean, basically nowadays you run the plant engine and you run Tengu, and then that's a good deck. Like, you don't need anything else of substance besides the plant engine and Tengu, and you have a good deck. Like, that's not fair to everyone else who's trying to be creative. So I think the only way now to silence the engine is to put this to 1. You can't do anything to Dandelion, because if you do, you'd have to ban it. And I don't see banning that card being, that important. Lone Fire, not Lone Fire, Spore and Glow Up Bulb, people only play one of those anyway, so again, you'd have to ban those. So the only card that makes sense to hit out of the plant engine is Lone Fire. Sam's Kagemusha. Yep, he's got to go to 1. I don't see any reason to limit or semi Shien. I think Shien can stay at 3. Kagemusha's the problem. He's the level 2 tuner that you get with the Kagekis, or you just get with your smoke signals and stuff. This guy is the problem, so he needs to be limited to 1. Blackwing Vayu. Okay, a lot of you guys are gonna be like, WTF, right? How can they possibly hit Blackwings again? Well, tell the OCG, write to your friends over in Japan and tell them stop playing Blackwings. If they want to continuously play Blackwings and continuously win tournaments over there with it, Konami's going to say, you guys aren't buying any of my new stuff, so we're just going to have to keep hitting the deck that you guys keep playing, and it's going to be Vayu next time. So I see Vayu going to 1, and this, by putting this to 1, this is going to stop Blackwing decks, period, from being played. So finally, OCG, we'll see some other stuff. Alright, Magician of Faith. Now, I see this coming back to 1. The reason being is that with Trunade, Future Fusion, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, with all the power spells gone, there isn't a power spell that you really want to get back. I mean, even Mind Control would be considered a power spell, and that'd be gone too. So, Magician of Faith, I don't see why not bring this back? It would be fine, I think. I don't even think much people would, play it, because the flip effect gives you a +1 from the grave, but it's not like Raikou where it destroys something on the field, which is more beneficial. So I don't see a problem with bringing that back. Sorry, Gravekeepers, but they should have did this last ban list. Royal Tribute to 1. OCG hasn't gotten Recruiter yet, but they will. And Royal Tribute went to 2, and Gravekeepers weren't even being played in the OCG. So now that they're actually trying the deck out a little bit, this is definitely going to go to 1. That's fine, because a lot of Gravekeeper players aren't even going like crazy about this card right now anyway. So Shien Smoke Signal. Again, this is a searching card for Sam's. I think that if you hit Kagemusha and you hit this to 1, I think Sam's become just a good deck and not a great deck anymore. And it slows them down to the point where now they have to get creative. So I like this at 1. I think this is pretty obvious. Ultimate Offering. With the Gadget engine, this card's kind of broken. It's been at 2 for a very long time, and it finally went to 3, and then now all of a sudden it's being played. And it was at 2 and it wasn't being played. So I see us going to 1 and just stop that engine right off the bat. So Ultimate Offering. And the last card I think as a possibility, very slight chance, is Ring of Destruction. Only because we need more cards that stop other cards. And because of the fact that we now pay so much life points, I mean, people want to play Ultimate Offering, they want to play Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment. They're going to be playing a lot of stuff that costs life points. And there's going to be times where you played your Judgment and your 2 warnings already, and then Ring of Destruction becomes a dead card in your hand. It was never a dead card before, but it can possibly be a dead card now. So I definitely see no reason in keeping this banned. Bringing it back to 1. It's not one of my guarantees that this is coming off the ban list, but it should. I would like to have that back. Okay, so now that's the stuff that's going to 1. Now the stuff that's going to 2, I think first and foremost, this is the most obvious. Reborn Tengu. Two splashable in every single deck. Tengu decks win, bottom line. And having three of these is kind of unfair. So bringing this to two, we're gonna do the same thing we did with malicious. Bring this down a little bit, so it's gonna be at two. It's still gonna be really good, but just not as broken. So Reborn Tengu to two. Gravekeeper Spy. Again, we gotta hit Gravekeepers again, but not only because of that deck, but because of the fact the Gravekeeper Spy has a great effect for Exceed summoning. So, can you imagine? You flip, bam, every single time you do that, that's a rank 4 Exceed monster that you're going to be getting. So, Konami's, that's just way too easy, and it's 2000 defense, so when you set it and your opponent attacks it, it's going to stay on the field. So, this got to get semi to 2. We can do it once, but any more than that is just too much. Now, one of these two cards are going to get limited to semi to 2. Either Master Hyperion or Agent of Mystery Earth. I'm leaning towards this card because this is the searcher for the deck and it's a tuner. So that is really good, but Master Hyperion is the big boss monster. So I'm not exactly 100% sure, but one of these two is going to get hit. I don't know about Arc Lord Christia because being at 2 is good enough. I think that's fine. But one of these two are definitely, because fairies are really good in Japan right now. Possibility Junk Synchron going to 2. Junk Doppel is huge in the OCG. I mean, you thought it was huge here. It's huge there too. A lot of people playing it. Too many really good combos. And I think to slow that engine down, you put Junk Synchron to 2. It slows it down, not entirely. It still makes the deck playable, but it's good enough. A card that I don't see any reason to still keep at 1 is Lumina. Don't bring it back to 3 because then too many people might start playing Lightsworn again, but bringing it to 2, you might get a few more Lightsworn players, which will kind of balance out the meta a little bit. And right now, in this format, I mean, I don't really think that this card is that broken. When Lightsworns were popular, of course, they were the best deck, but right now, I don't really see any reason not to bring this back to 2. So that's a good choice right there. For spells now. Pot of Avarice. Actually, this card can actually go to 1, but I don't see them going straight from 3 to 1. I think they're going to semi-limit this for sure. The graveyard's being way too abused. People aren't siding DD Crow like before, so Pot of Avarice plays are just going off left and right. This card's way too good. It's a automatic +1 if it goes off, and recycling your graveyard, drawing 2, and especially if you have a graveyard full of synchros, that's just kind of ridiculous. So Pot of Avarice to 2. Pot of Duality to 2. Finally, I think this card is going to be on the ban list. The reason for it is because the card's being reprinted. Now, people who don't know how to play this game would put Pot of Duality in any deck. It doesn't matter if every single turn they're able to synchro summon, they're still going to play Pot of Duality because it's being reprinted as a super rare. So with Pot of Duality being reprinted, I'd definitely say it's going to get hit by the ban list to prohibit people, because Konami gives you a draw card and then they take it away when it's too overpowering like Pot of Duality is. So this to 2, and probably in future ban lists it'll probably go to 1. Emergency Teleport. I think the only reason why this was kept at 1 for all this time is because of Mind Master. And now that Mind Master is going to get banned, I don't see any reason to keep E-Tele at 1. So if the teleport engine comes back, look for maybe a revival of Teledad. Who knows? But that sounds pretty amazing to me. Infernity Launcher. Infernity's had a really poor showing this format. Maybe like they had like a good showing at 1 YCS, but that was about it. And honestly, I don't really see any reason. Nobody's playing Infernities right now, so bring Launcher back to 2, and maybe we'll get some more players playing Infernities, but I don't really see the problem with that. Dark Bribe. This is a little iffy choice by me. I'm not too sure about this, but it's a really big deck. It's a really big card in the Agent deck. In the Fairy deck, it's actually very good. In the OCG, they are playing this in 3s, so I definitely see that this could possibly get semi'd. And remember what I told you about this card and Pot of Duality. So This is definitely a pot of duality stopper right here. I would play that on pot of duality all day long. So I can see Dark Bribe going to 2. And the only I only have 2 cards that are completely going to come off the ban list. The first one being Spirit Reaper. Reaper went to 2 and people were still playing it at 1. So I don't see any reason to keep this at 2. Just take it off the ban list completely. Nobody's using it. And the last card is Mystical Space Typhoon. With all the mass removal cards gone, I don't see any reason to keep MST at 2. Just put it at 3. It just takes up 3 spaces in the deck, and it's 1-for-1s. Konami doesn't have any problems with 1-for-1s, so MST, you can come right back. And yeah, that's it. The only other card I might... Oh, and Overload Fusion is going to come off the ban list because even at 2, nobody's playing that card. Nobody will play that card. That card is just not good, so... Overload's going to come off the ban list, and possibly Magic Cylinder, but I don't think Magic Cylinder will because, I mean, can you think about it? Would you like to play a deck running 3 of those? Like, your opponent would have to do, like, no work at all. They just have to play 3 of those, and that might be game over. So, we'll, talk about that another time. But, yeah, that's my predictions for the September 1st, 2011 ban list. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me if you think I forgot anything. And yeah, don't forget to rate and subscribe. And until next time, YouTube, peace.